Okay, so let's extend this build. We want to be able to add and utilize more AI capabilities within this flow here. So what we want to do here is to take this MP3 that we have, we're going to transcribe it to text, and then we're going to add two more capabilities into this flow. The first one is to summarize it. So take this information here to summarize it, and then we're going to translate that into another language. I'll just pick Japanese, but there could be one of 55 languages that are supported. And then we're going to then take that output, that text output, and then convert that into audible form as well in the new language. All right. So let's go ahead and start building this out. So earlier in the course, we started talking about the availability of LangChain nodes within N8N. We talked about basic large language model, question answer chain, summarization chain, and we started to use this AI chain or AI agent in our first example. But in this example, we're going to use summarization chain and basic large language model chain. And I'll show you how this works. These are actually incredibly powerful. So let me just start with the summarization chain. So I'll add this in here. So what we're going to do is take a quick look at what is offered here. All right. So there's a lot of different options, right? And um, one of the things that we're going to do is just take a look at the different input types. So you can provide input to it directly. So we'll do that in this case, but there's other options here where you can directly feed a file into here, or a document loader, which can include PDFs or text files or other forms, right into this node. So this node has ability actually to handle a lot of different types of input. But for our purposes, we're just going to take the text output from the previous node into this node. And then there's also this idea of chunking strategy. This is kind of cool. So this chunking strategy is simple, right? So you can have a very simple one or advanced. So if you have advanced, there are more options in terms of how you want to group the different text segments for your specific use case. So I'll just keep it simple for this. But for characters per chunk, that's something that we'll cover a little bit more in the chat with your documents section. But right now, we can think of it as just the size in which you want to take the text and then deal with them one by one. Now, I want to just add into here the summarization methods and prompts. We'll take the default, but this is another really cool thing and shows the power of LangChain integration. So it can take a large amount of text actually and break it down into smaller segments and summarize each of those smaller segments into then one summary text. So this is kind of the map reduce method, and we'll be using this. But you can see that based on LangChain, there's different ways to summarize as well large documents. So there's a lot of functionality just built in here. So I'm just going to keep the defaults and kind of show you how this works. All right, so I have the summarization chain, and I'm going to put it into right after the recording, all right, our transcription of the recording. So go here, connect it, all right? So what I'm going to do is, or what it will do is just take the input from, or the output of this input here, and then I will select my OpenAI model here as well. All right. And again, I'm using GPT 3.5 Turbo. All right. So let's just run it. All right. Just see how this will work. All right. So I've downloaded in here my MP3 that has the JFK inaugural address, and then in here I'm going to take that as input and I'm going to transcribe it. So this is uploading this file, which is about 14 megabytes, into the OpenAI service for transcription. And after it finishes, I will have this as input in a summarization chain. So this takes maybe another 10 seconds. And okay, so this is now the full transcription. So you have this pretty long text. And now what I'm going to do is run the summarization chain. Right, so take a look at this. Right, from this long text, it's able to summarize very quickly. Pretty cool use of AI. Now, let me now go to the next node. All right, so now I've got a summary. Now I want to translate to a different language. That's another capability that's really powerful in terms of some of these AI models. So I'll go in here, and I'll go again into the advanced AI node. I will select the basic LLM chain. Right, so this gives you just a lot of flexibility in terms of what you can do with it. So you can just prompt it in various ways. But I will go into here and say, all right, I want to define below the text, and the text is going to be this text here. Okay, and what am I going to do with it? I'm going to add a user message and say translate to Japanese. Okay, so I will go here. Oops, let me just add the model. All right, and then I'll execute it again. All right, let's take a look at the output. So I have this in Japanese now. All right, pretty cool. But you know, if I wanted to say German, all right, there you go. Crazy, right? And then Spanish. Boom. All right, so 55 languages supported. All right, let's add the audio node. I will select this audio, OpenAI, I mean, and then in here I will say generate audio and select my credentials, and then add in here the text that I want to translate. All right, and then let's just save it, and let's just execute this from the start. So let's go ahead and do that. So again, it's downloading from the Google Drive, and then afterwards it's going to transcribe the recording, summarizing it, and then translating it, and then it's going to now generate the audio step. Okay, so there it is with Google Drive, and now it's transcribing all of the audio. And then summarizing it, and then translating it. And then now it's generating the audible output. All right. Crazy good. All right, so I just going to delete this node. I don't need to convert it to a file. It's already in file in Audible here. And then I'm going to connect it over here. All right, so what I'll see here is that I am going to have the input from the translated audio, and then I'm going to save that into my file here. Okay, so I'm just going to save it to the root folder. All right, so I'll go to my Google Drive, and I'll look at here. All right, so I just created this file. I originally had it intended to be Japanese, but it should be in Spanish. So let's play that.
En este discurso, el recién inaugurado presidente John F. Kennedy enfatiza la importancia de la libertad.
All right, so it translated the summary into Spanish. So let me just show you how easy it is to now change this to Japanese, right? So we'll do Japanese here. I'll retest this. So it's converted to Japanese. And then the other thing I should note is that without changing anything in this node, okay, nothing in this node. So this node is one that generates audio, right? So I'm going to go run it. So what it's done is it's actually auto detected the language that that was inputted here. So I didn't tell this node what language it was, so it just detected it, and then it generated and uploaded here the Japanese version of the summary. So I'll refresh this and I'll play this again.
この演説では、新たに就任したジョン・ F・ ケネディ大統領が国内外の
Right, that's crazy cool, right? So take a look at this. So let's summarize. So we've been able to quite easily take a file, in this case an MP3, and we've been able to then transcribe it into text, summarize it with this LangChain summary chain. And there's a lot of different options in here, and you can also start thinking about the different possibilities. So, for example, we're using MP3, but you can take a look. You can do the same thing for a PDF, right? So take a PDF of any type, and so you wouldn't transcribe it, but you would put it into a summary chain, and then to summarize it, and then you can put the summary back into the Google Drive, right? So and that PDF can be fairly long as well, because how this works is just it breaks things down and then summarizes and breaks things down, summarizes, and then collapses everything, right? So there's a lot of power in this summary chain node, and then with this basic large language model chain, we translate to Japanese, or it can be different languages. So you tap into the native ability to translate to different languages, and then in here we generate the audio, and it auto detects which language and then speaks those languages back in audio. So very simple build, but extremely powerful.